Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1191A, and today's date is January 30th, 2017, and the title of the episode is Economic Indicators Show Clear Signs the Economy is Slipping into a Depression. Let's get into the economic collapse financial news. Today on the market, we see that, we were above 20,000, now we're below 20,000. And we need to remember that the insiders, they understand what is happening. They've been selling their stock to retail investors. And we can see as we move forward throughout this year, most likely the market will probably start to drop dramatically. I mean, many people and individuals are calling for this. And we can see the corporate media, they are calling this Trump euphoria, making us feel like Trump is the one who caused all this for the market to go up. And we can see right now that they're getting prepared for this market to come down, because this is a classic bubble situation where the market goes up, they're telling you that good times are here again, and then the insiders start to sell hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars to retail investors who believe the market's going to continually move up. And then as the market comes down, those same insiders short the market and make a profit on both sides. But of course, the economy is completely separate and apart from all of this. And the economy right now is doing terribly. But we do see the US and the UK, we see Trump and Theresa May, they have begun talks about trade. Now, the EU rules say members cannot negotiate trade deals until they completely exit from the bloc and until it's finalized. But it looks like Theresa May and President Trump, they're not waiting for this whatsoever. They realize that this is going to happen no matter what. And they're testing the limits of the EU rules. Now, nothing has been done. Nothing has been set in stone. And you have to understand, what is the true motivation of Trump and why is he pushing this right now? Is he trying to assist in the collapse of the EU? And it looks like he's pushing this idea that, it's already said and done. The EU is done. And we're going to be making great deals with the UK. And we'll have to see how that turns out later on. Here in the United States, what do we see? Well, we're starting to see that the people who are believing the hype in the corporate media, where they're out there saying that the economy seems positive, we get all these soft surveys about confidence and everything else saying that everything is fantastic, everyone's confidence is up. So people are out there spending a lot more money than they actually have. Now, it really started before Trump was even president, because this is the 9th straight month in a row where people are continually spending, and they're spending a lot more than they're actually bringing in. That means they're charging a lot of this stuff. And what we're seeing is that for the 9th month in a row, spending is rising and savings, that's falling. And we can see at this point that people are caught up right now in this frenzy of everything's going to be okay. And when we really look at the economy, and we've been looking at it for quite a while, we've been looking at GDP, we know those are completely fake, phony, and false. We know the GDP numbers are below 0% in the negative range, -1%, -2%, that area. We also understand that housing is declining, retail is in major contraction, and I know that there are a lot of corporations who have been talking to Trump saying that we're going to be bringing jobs back to the United States. But when we look at this, how could this be possible in this type of economy? Well, it'd be very, very difficult because they're laying off at the same exact time. And everything is contracting at the same exact time, which means that they're planning for something afterwards. Starbucks is out there saying that they're planning to hire about 10,000 refugees over a 5-year period. And again, does that help everyone today? No, it really does not. When we look at all these companies who are saying they're going to be building manufacturing plants, hiring people, does that help people right now? No. So we need to look at this and say, okay, when is this going to occur? Because we're seeing more and more companies continually laid off. Fitbit, well, their sales, they're dropping. They're laying off about 110 employees, about 6% of their workforce. And things are not growing great there. We see in the U.S. auto industry, well, it looks like the bubble is about to burst. Despite record U.S. auto sales last year, the number of vehicles on car dealer lots remains near record highs. J.D. Power analyst Tom King warned 2016 ended with an inventory bubble that will require less production or more incentives to clear it. And the number of vehicles which are sitting in dealer lots is about 3.9 million vehicles. This is problematic. About 1/3 of inventory were older model year vehicles. And what this means is, in the past, when things were not manipulated, there was less than a quarter of these type of cars on the lot. So we have new cars coming in, and this is going to be a problem. Now, Trump, he's out there and he's pressuring the auto industry to bring back more jobs, more manufacturing, have more production. But right now, the sales don't call for it. And again, this is a major problem. In this economy where it's built up on illusion, on manipulation, on complete dishonesty, it is very difficult to restart the system. The system needs to be cleared first. It needs to be cleared of all this debt. It needs to be cleared of all this dishonesty, of these manipulated numbers. And until we do that, it's going to be very, very difficult to restart this system. We see Citigroup right now. Well, they are dumping their mortgage business. Citigroup says it would sell its mortgage servicing rights on about 780,000 Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac loans of non-Citibank retail customers to new residential mortgage. The remaining Citi-owned loans and other mortgage services rights not sold to NRZ are expected to be transferred to loan servicing provider Cenlar FSB. And they're trying to get completely out of the mortgage business by 2018, which should tell you something. We have major problems in the housing market. Things are deteriorating very rapidly, and the banks, well, they're jumping ship. They're protecting themselves. And what we're seeing right now is that there are clear indicators that the U.S. economy is slipping into a depression. And when we look at these indicators, we can see that things are not going well whatsoever. When we look at GDP, we know GDP is below 0%, -1%, -2%. Credit card company Capital One reported a 30% increase in charge-off year over year. Goldman Sachs has confirmed that U.S. auto demand, well, it's peaked and now it's declining. And we can see that by the number of cars on the lots. The insider sell-buy ratio hit 59-1, meaning insiders are dumping 59 shares for every 1 share they buy. Tax revenues are showing a marked collapse in taxes collected. Put it simply, it is evident from all of this and many other indicators that we are heading into a major depression scenario. And of course, the media buzz is out there saying that U.S. GDP of 5% is just around the corner. How possibly can we hit 5% when we couldn't even hit 3%? Actually, if we go back to what the IMF predicted over time, year after year after year, they told us we're going to be hitting 3.5% almost every single year. And then they downgraded it throughout the year. And when we look back at each year, we couldn't really get over 2%. We were in the 1% range. So when they talk about how great things are going to get, how can they get better? They can't. Not while retail is contracting. Not while we have this debt. Not while people are unemployed. And it's not 10,000 people unemployed. It's not 50,000 people unemployed. It's not 100,000 that are unemployed. It's 93 million people. That's how many jobs we're going to have to create to get the ball rolling. Even if we created 150,000 jobs right now, it's not going to help because the debt continually rises. We'll see what Trump does come March. Most likely he'll raise the debt ceiling because otherwise the government won't be able to pay anything. Now, if that does happen, guess what? The debt continually moves up and up and up and up. They can't stop it. And this is why it's either we continue on this path or we say, okay, that's it. We need to go bankrupt here. We need to wipe out all this debt. We need to reset everything. And I believe this is what is being planned at this point. Because we can see that we cannot continue on with this. Even Trump's budget director is out there saying that this debt is unsustainable. It just won't work. I know, and we can see that Trump is cutting the government. He's going to be laying off quite a number of people. In the EPA, I think it's about 7,500 people they might let go. And there's going to be a lot of others in government that are going to be let go. But this still will not be enough because the debt continually rises. We're trillions and trillions into debt. The tax revenue is continually declining. And it's becoming harder and harder to pay for this debt. And if interest rates move up just a little bit, that's it. We're done. So right now, we can see that we're in a situation where we're heading into this depression. And remember, depressions are to reset everything. Now, who's going to bring us into this depression? Is it going to be Trump or the elite? Are they going to crash the system and try to restart it the way they want? Or is Trump going to beat them to it and bring the system down? Of course, when that does happen, the corporate media is going to play it up that Trump just completely destroyed the economy. But it seems that he doesn't care about that. It seems like he's ready to handle that because his skills are bankruptcy. His skills are a default. But we'll have to see how this does play out. But whatever happens, we're heading towards an economic collapse, and everyone needs to be prepared and ready for what is coming. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.